See, this is why sometimes you gotta learn to leave people alone and mind your own damn business. This is exactly why. You bark up the wrong tree, it might just fall on you. What happened to Miss Angel?
See, this is exactly why sometimes you've got to keep your head down, sip your water, and mind your own damn business. Because when you bark up the wrong tree, sometimes that tree comes crashing down right on top of you. And right now, that's exactly what happened to Miss Angel Reese. All those flashy words, all those little digs, all those I took over your trap moments in Indiana during All-Star Weekend and her shiny Reebok campaign, look how quickly the tables have turned.
Reese, she's all in Indiana during All-Star and her Reebok campaign, come to your trap, take over your trap. What happened to that? Because it looked like Caitlin Clark went to Chicago and
Because it sure looked like Caitlin Clark just rolled into Chicago and did to her city what she claimed to do to Caitlin's. Clark didn't just show up, she detonated the place. The welcome she got? We're talking Michael Jordan in his prime. We're talking Beyoncé with a basketball. Thousands of screaming fans, standing ovations that shook the rafters, and an atmosphere so electric you'd swear the Chicago Bulls themselves were peeking out from the tunnel in jealousy. Meanwhile, Ice Cube, yes, Ice Cube, took one look at Angel Reese and hit her with the verbal equivalent of a full-court press. And baby, it was brutal. Cube was sitting down, asked about the big three, and they slid the question in. You made a $5 million offer to Caitlin Clark. What about Angel Reese? Could she ball in your league? And Cube, cool as ever, basically shrugged. She's a great player, he said. But the thing with Caitlin Clark was unlocking millions of dollars for the league because of her stardom. Our sponsors were telling us that. They didn't say the same thing about Angel Reese. Translation? No, we're not cutting her the same check. And that's the raw, unfiltered truth. While Caitlin Clark is dodging double teams one night and strolling into schools in Indianapolis the next, dropping off backpacks to kids who need them most, like she's the Oprah of the hardwood. She's out here, doing it without an entourage, without flashing lights, without a PR circus following her around. She's letting the work talk. She's letting the love be organic.
Again, this is a new season. I remember you famously made an offer to Caitlin Clark, but what about Angel Reese? Would you think she could ball out? You know, she's pretty solid, you know?
Yeah, she's a great player. No, the thing with Caitlin Clark, it was just to,
Meanwhile, in Chicago, the second she touched down, it was chaos in the best way. Fans sprinting like she was Jordan himself at the Rucker Park. The crowd treating her like Derrick Rose in his MVP year, Michael Jordan in '96, Chief Keef at a homecoming show, Lil Durk in the front row. Clark took over Chicago. She didn't just sign a few autographs, she stayed for hours. She made sure every kid got a backpack from her foundation, but let's be real, those kids walked away with more than a bag. They walked away with a story for life. Yeah, Caitlin Clark came to my school. What did your favorite player do today? Post a moody Instagram reel. And somewhere out there, Angel Reese is pacing, calculating how many more tunnel walks she can get away with before Clark's next headline blows hers out of the water. Spoiler alert, it's already too late. Because even while injured, Clark has fans breaking ankles just trying to get a glimpse of her, trying to get a blurry photo for proof. And now Ice Cube has entered the chat, tossing $5 million on the table like it's lunch money, with Clark's name written on it in bold, underlined.
to unlock millions of dollars for the league because of her stardom, what our sponsors was telling us.
Right.
They didn't tell us the same thing about Angel Reese. So.
And Angel Reese, she's on the outside looking in. This isn't just about a paycheck, it's about a billboard moment. Cube's offer screamed, "I see what the WNBA doesn't want to say out loud." The man's not just hip-hop royalty, he's got a radar for stardom sharper than any Wall Street analyst. He sees numbers, market impact, and cultural pull. He looked at Caitlin Clark and said, she's worth it. Meanwhile, people are still debating whether Clark should start games as if she's not already running half the league's marketing department for free. The wild part? Clark hasn't even hit her prime yet. This is rookie-era Clark. She's still adjusting to the pro pace, still figuring out the league, and she's already creating more buzz than some veterans have in a decade. What happens when she's fully locked in and casually dropping 30 a night? We might have to start installing crowd control barriers at away games just to keep the stampede of kids in number 22 jerseys from storming the court. And let's not pretend the contrast isn't hilarious. Clark is out here holding pop-up philanthropy events, handing out gear like it's Halloween candy, and genuinely changing communities. Meanwhile, Angel's feed is looking like a passive-aggressive highlight reel. Subtweets, unfollows, and the occasional walkout from a press conference like she just got served papers instead of playing a basketball game.
Caitlin Clark. Bro, it was more fans running. They was running down on Caitlin Clark like she was Michael Jordan. Treated like MJ in the rack. Oh my God. Caitlin Clark getting treated like Derrick Rose, Michael Jordan, Chief.
And now Ice Cube has basically confirmed what some of us have been saying all along. Clark's fandom is bigger, her draw is undeniable, and she's getting more love in street clothes than Angel gets dropping double-doubles. The reaction? Predictable. Angel Reese's most die-hard fans will storm social media to seek and destroy Cube for telling the truth. But the truth doesn't care about your feelings. And the truth is that Caitlin Clark is bringing in Crow.
Keith, Lil Durk, all of them. Caitlin Clark took over Chicago. She signed autographs for hours. This wasn't no extras that was paid to come stand in the scene. No, these were real people trying to get.
So while Angel Reese's camp is busy crafting statements, clapping back at media takes, and treating every minute of court time like it's some grand conspiracy, Caitlin Clark is out here stacking standing ovations like trophies. She's collecting applause from arenas that booed her just a month ago. She's got fans waving homemade signs in cities where she's never even played before. And the craziest part? Half these people didn't even watch women's basketball until she showed up. She didn't ask to be the WNBA's main character. She just became it by existing, by being exactly who she is. That's why her critics are scrambling, throwing everything from reverse psychology to flat-out contradictions at the wall, praying something sticks. We don't like Caitlin Clark, but also why isn't she in more commercials? Pick a lane. And Ice Cube? He saw it before most of the league's decision-makers did. He looked at the numbers, the crowd sizes, the engagement, and he knew this is the kind of draw you build a brand around. Meanwhile, the WNBA's still patting itself on the back for tweeting out final scores.
For Ice Cube. They're about to come and get Ice Cube. We know how this works. It won't be long. But the AR5 fans will seek and destroy, or try to.
Clark doesn't need the league's marketing department. She is the marketing department. She's selling hope at wholesale prices while others are still trying to figure out how to sell tickets. And here's the irony that no one in Angel Reese's camp wants to address. Just a week before Clark took over Chicago, Reese posted that Reebok ad with the caption, "Walk into your trap, take over your trap." It was a jab. It was calculated. And yet, days later, Clark walked into Reese's city and actually did it for real. No theatrics, no staged photo shoots, just results. And the funniest part? She still hasn't even peaked yet. This is the early stage. This is Clark figuring out the pro game, adapting to the schedule, getting her body right. Imagine the chaos when she's fully settled, playing without restrictions, and putting up numbers that force the league to rewrite its record books. Away arenas will need to add security just to keep the crowd from rushing the floor after games. Meanwhile, Reese's social media is a revolving door of passive-aggressive antics. Quotes, unfollows, cryptic captions, all of it screaming for attention that used to come naturally during her college run. The difference? Clark doesn't need to manufacture the moment. The moment finds her. And that's why Cube's $5 million offer hit so hard. It wasn't just about poaching talent from the WNBA, it was a flex, a message to the league. If you won't treat her like a franchise player, I will. It was also a subtle dig at everyone else in the league, pretending they're on her level when the numbers say otherwise.
Because that's standard operating procedure for them. Ice Cube. Because Ice Cube has come out and given everybody some brutal truth, and there is a portion of this that just tells you everything that...
Cube's not throwing money around just for headlines. He's investing where the return is guaranteed. And right now, Caitlin Clark is the safest bet in sports. She's a box office lock, a walking sellout sign. Even on the injured list, she moves the needle more than most players do at full health. She shows up in a hoodie, and the crowd acts like she just hit a game-winning 3. Compare that to Reese, who can play a full game and still have fans asking if she was even on the floor. That's not shade, that's reality. And reality is undefeated. The Fever's game against the Chicago Sky on Barbie night proved it. Even without Boat Dangerfield and Ariel Atkins, Chicago played hard. But the atmosphere told the story. There were just as many Fever fans as Sky fans in the building. Why? Because people came to see Caitlyn. They didn't even know until the last minute if she'd play. That's not normal. That's superstar energy. And while her critics twist themselves into knots trying to explain it away, media bias, hype machine, whatever, it all comes down to one thing: she's earned it.
Reese has so many aliases, she could fill the entire roster. Matter of fact, this would save the Chicago Bravado thousands of pesos in salary to other players. They can release everyone else and just pay Angel Reese. The end result...
She's done the work, on and off the court. She's made herself undeniable. And she's done it without the gimmicks, without the petty beef, without chasing clout like it's oxygen. That's what's driving people crazy. The ones who've built their brand on drama can't stand that someone else is outshining them by doing the exact opposite. Caitlyn doesn't need to clap back at every jab. She doesn't need to send subliminals or stage viral moments. She just keeps showing up, keeps delivering, keeps winning over hearts in every city she steps into. And that quiet confidence, that's the real power. Because in a league full of noise, the calm one with the real juice is always the one you should be worried about. Caitlyn Clark doesn't play the game her critics want her to play. She plays her own, and she's winning. That's why you can't compete with her. You can't fake what she has. You can't Photoshop charisma. You can't rehearse authenticity. And you can't mimic a mindset built on actual work when all you've got is style with no substance. That's why every failed attempt to outshine her just ends up making her light look brighter.
Losing, they're already one of the worst teams in pretend basketball. Might as well save some pesos while being a huge embarrassing failure. Over the last couple of years, Angel Reese has been